Okay,
You are very audible, sir.
okay, thank you, thank you. So let us start. Uh, okay, my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay, so friends, let us start. Nature and scope of voluntary agencies. Basically, voluntary agencies play a very important role, but some issues are also there. Administrative managers of voluntary agencies engaged in rural development are continuously called upon to explain their activities to government, to the funding agencies, and to the rural people to gain acceptability. Basically, what type of work are done by the voluntary agencies is very important to know that since the administrative managers cannot forever assume a stable and continuing base of support, uh, PRC must ordinarily gives attention to winning support for the agency goals and existence. Uh, Third is basically administrative managers must take care not for the threatened wide health community value and norms and must try to ensure the program are implemented in a manner that respond to the needs of the intent to serve. This process requires building capability within the agency as well. So these capabilities should be in voluntary agencies uh, through which voluntary agency play a very good and active role. Let us first try to understand the meaning of voluntary agencies administration, what type of administration is providing through voluntary agencies, and why their role are important to transform the rural society. We then move to the component of administrative tasks and activities. So let us move. Examples of voluntary agencies development analysis. Many agencies are also banned in present time. Some UN agencies, as I have seen in chat box, one question is there. Poverty, when examples of voluntary agencies development analysis, when we talk about this, then poverty is the result of inequality. And basically, if not a inequality, is inequity in the structure of national and international economic system. Friends, as we have already discussed that when the income of the country increases, suppose GDP or GNP of the country increases, but the distribution is not equal, equitable distribution of income is not there. So poverty will automatically increase. The gap between rich and poor will automatically increase. And in the era of globalization, as we know that we are living in a global place, and globalization is also responsible as some in some matter is also responsible to bridge the gap between rich and poor section of the society. So many other factors are also responsible, but neglect and abuse of children uh, rights result from a breakdown in national and family value. Some other example like global environmental degradation is due to the over consumption in the developed countries and necessary survival strategies for the poor people in the third world. So it's our common future when we talk about environment, when we talk about global crisis. It's our common responsibility. Developed countries said that developing countries are responsible. They are not opening their market. Labor restrictions would be there, but uh, uh, it's only a allegation. Developed countries also should think about the condition of developing countries and the third world countries because we need industrialization, we need more employment, and that comes through the proper development planning. So many other issues are related with environmental degradation, and global summit is also going on in different time, and it's a very hot discussion between developing and developed countries. It is known as, you have already read about North-South dialogue, and this is also continue going on. So it's a big issue. Example, our global environment is a big issue. Examples of voluntary agencies, vision, purpose, and action. Uh, what type of visions? We envision a world without hunger and injustice. It's a very global agenda, and is also mentioned in Sustainable Global Development Goals that world would be without hunger and injustice. Uh, Organization work for the eradication of poverty in the world through direct community development action, because poverty alleviation is very important. Without poverty alleviation, we cannot imagine a egalitarian society. We are committed to working together with our partners to address the social, economic, political, and spiritual concern of our constituencies. So it's also very important agenda of voluntary agencies. We are an organization development consultancy which aims to contribute to the building of the organization effectiveness. Almost all organizations working towards social transformation. Uh, the main purpose, the main target of all these agencies is to change the life of poor, to enhance the quality of life of the poor, to uh, ec- uh, to provide a better environment for their sustainable livelihood. So our purpose is basically, the purpose of voluntary agencies is to relieve distress, poverty, and avoidable suffering throughout the world. These are the agenda. These are the basic uh, uh, target that must be removed from the world. Planning and budgeting. One important thing is planning, and other is finance. As we have know that without planning and finance, nothing is possible. So planning is the most important part of the project. It is a stage of conceptualization and laying down of the future agenda in potentially feasible sheet form. This task may be involving the following factors. Which factor are example? Number one is generation of ideas, because everything depends on ideas. What we think, what type of ideas are in our minds, that can change the world. So a good idea can transform the society, bad idea can spoil the society. So ideas are very important to think uh, for the betterment of the people, for the betterment of society. Here the spiritual quotient is very important, as we have already know that we have uh, uh, head, heart, and hands. 3H. We talk about 3H: head, heart, and hands. And 3H is also associated with 3Q: intelligent quotient, IQ, uh, spiritual quotient, uh, uh, which is comes from our inner feeling. So an emotional quotient. Those three H and three Qs are very important in generating ideas. When we think positive, when we think to transform the society, when we think about to remove the poverty and injustice across the world, such ideas comes within ourselves. So spiritually, we should be strong. We should try to strong ourselves spiritually. Then we can generate a good ideas. So with the idea is very important. Scouting for the project ideas and preliminary screening of ideas, uh, feasibility of the promising ideas, survey of the fact and figures. These are the basic factors, and financial analysis, developmental returns, like we have already talked about financial rate of return and internal rate of return in last blocks, and economic analysis, cost benefit in the organizational context. Friends, we know that public sector as well work for the welfare of the society, welfare of the people. And there is the concept of no profit, no loss. In economic sense, or financial sense, we can say that if total revenue is equal to total cost, that is no profit, no loss concept. So ecological analysis is also very important. Without environmental protection, we nowadays we are talking about green GNP. It's important to increase the GNP of any country, but that should not be on the cost of environmental degradation. So ecological analysis must be involved in the planning, and if planning is more eco-friendly, then that should be promoted. So technical analysis, whatever is necessary, that should be included in the analysis, and determining overall worth of the project, preparation of the funding proposals. These are the important steps, and highly subjective issues. Developing community-based program and projects, many communities program are going on, like while planning and developing rural development program, the government or a voluntary agency may follow different approach. You have seen that very often government schemes or programs are prepared to the state capital and are handed down to the district and block level for implementation. As we have discussed that many important policies are prepared by the central government, and only few programs are prepared by the state government. So if the formation of the program is decentralized, the requirement of the district, state, and village, and the formation should be on that basis, then we can say that that program may be more effective. Uh, so the formation of plan should be on the basis of the local need and local requirement. It should be on the state level, should be on the district level, it should be on the block and community level. Such programs usually end up by the remaining government activities as the beneficiaries themselves, and neither involve nor have access to planning, decision-making process and system. If any program is uh, making through the central level, then a very few chance that people participation or voluntary participation, workers participation is there. So it's very important. There is little scope of flexibility to make changes in the response to local need. Uh, we see today passive dependence on the government initiative and the implementation of the program according to the government perception of what is good necessary for the community. So these are the basic issues. The peoples for whom these programs are meant participate only as a beneficiaries. So that should not be there. Uh, for the active people's participation, uh, the benefits and uh, the ideas should be there. Bottom up planning, we have already top down on bottom up planning. Top down planning is centralized planning, and bottom up planning is decentralized planning, which comes from the within the requirement of the society. There are limits to be the extent to which outsiders can have insight into the problems of community. It's a very challenging task. Local people to have capabilities in planning, activating and involving the cross section of the community in the broad-based decision making, using a consensus-based approach and teamwork in implementation. And it's essential that the creativity of the total community is mobilized for effective development process. So, if we involve the people, that the planning would be more effective. And one important aspect is need-based plan. Need-based plan. If the plan is uh, on the basis of need of the community, then people automatically will motivate and involve uh, in implementation part of the program. The planning of the community-based program should stem from the needs of the community. There may be some need which are felt by the community. There may be the others which have been identified by the community, but which expert field are critical for the community. For instance, environmental sanitations and preventive health. In such cases, it would be necessary to sensitize the community to such needs. Some issues are important and it need more attention uh, for the community, like environmental sanitation issues and preventive health issues. So people should be sensitized about these issues. It's our responsibility. Local resources local resources play a very important role. However, scarcity of resources is in every country, and the local resources may be uh, be their mobilization and utilization are essential. We already said that uh, think globally but act locally. Uh, we uh, we have ideas from across the globe what is happening in different part of the world, but if we make our plan, we must concentrate our local resources. If we are rich in particular resources, then our planning should be based on that. It not be that we import some technology from countries which is not suitable for our requirement. So local resources based planning is always good in the context of community development. So local resources can be of the form of money, material, or manpower. Availability of the local resources can not only draw funds from outside but also help in substance of the program when such outside funding ceases. Participation, because many programs which are funded by the World Bank or United Nations or some other agencies, if the funding is stopped, then program automatically finished. But if the local resources are involved, so the program will be continued. So independency is very important. We should not depend on foreign fundings much more uh, about our planning. So participation by the community is critically important because it initiates further action through democratization of decision making. Participation is the keystone for effective work. We have already much more discussed about these issues, and the involvement of local people brings local knowledge. Very important thing. If we involve local people from the community, that brings local knowledge. We cannot attain that knowledge from the textbook. It comes from experience with community work, the people who live with community. The knowledge comes from that side. Should local knowledge and expertise into the use and thus reduce unnecessary dependence on technocrats and outsiders. Let's empower people to take action collectively. So let's create a harmony among the people, and we avoid a lot of uh, can cut a lot of cost related economic cost related to technocrats and other resources. So we should notice the local knowledge, expertise, and must involve in planning. Community participations features. Participation, as we saw, implies direct involvement of the people's involvement, not enough the representative. Let's always say that the involvement should be the direct, not through the representative. Participation must be understood in terms of participation in decision making. We have already discussed that without decision making, the participation is not active. Planning, implementation, monitoring, these are the important steps in participation, and only the benefit of the uh, development will be there. So, people's participation in the context of rural development has to be seen not only at input to the development but also to the means of empowering the rural poor. If we think about participation, the purpose is in mind the empowerment of rural poor and effective role in rural development. These are the two basic important objective of people's participation. For developing a community-based program, Participation of people has to be recognized as a distinct part of the process of development rather than merely facilitated. Uh, it's always say that there is no rule of representative. If we think people are only facilitators, then that is not good. Active participation is important in planning perspective and uh, leadership. Leadership is important, and motivation and leadership we have already discussed about it. And load of leaders in collective thinking, group decision makings, influence others cannot be underestimated. Equal right, equal opinions should be there, and opinion of everyone would be welcomed by the leaders. And leader exercise influence on the group members and influence their behavior. So the leadership is very important. If the leadership is good, then everything will be possible. They are in turn influenced by them. This is the reciprocal process by which group members permit themselves to influence and motivate to facilitate attainment of mutually satisfying goal. Uh, so many factors such as participation rate, characteristics of the group, nature of the task, and dynamics of the organization contribute to improving interpersonal relation within the group in the helping the group successfully to complete its leadership play an important role in this regard. Basically, the connection of the society, what type of connection will be there, how people will motivate. If leader is good, leadership quality is good, then we can easily achieve these objectives. Social actions, we have already discussed many things related to social actions, and basically the part of process, social action has been a part of process of development of human society. When we talk about social action, the aim is only to develop human society, and there is hardly a time of social evolution when people have not organized themselves and enjoy the protest against injustice to see redressal of grievances or alteration of unjust social, economic, and political structure. Suppose something is going wrong with a community and if people are not aware, then they think that that's okay. But if the people are aware, they think that if something is going with wrong with that particular person, that must be wrong with us also. So, social action for injustice, social action for any type of evils is very important, and now people are much more aware than before. The struggle that ensure didn't always achieve their goals, but they represent important expression of the price people attempt to secure a more human society. So the more purpose of the social action is this. And finally, when we talk about the social action as a tool to mobilize people's for development work is really uh, mentioned in such domestic rivalry because it represents to those in authority and organized endeavor to bring about changes which often results in conflict of interest. Conflict of interest may be occur sometimes with those to power who are sometimes opposed to such initiative to change covertly or cowardly. So, social action may be a very powerful tools to transform the lives, transform the society, and it's a very powerful instrument in the hands of people to secure social justice. Without justice, without social justice, uh, the uh, uh, betterment of life is not possible. And human rights, we are aware about human rights. The foremost practitioner of social action in our country, basically in India, Mahatma Gandhi, and in Africa, as we have already discussed, Dr. Nelson Mandela. So, uh, uh, basically, social reformers, trade union leaders, public workers and political activists have been involved in social action movement in one way or the others. Uh, and if the social action is led by the good leader, then social action would be more effective. For all those who are interested in empowering people, this unit is therefore to the considerable interest. So we have a leadership quality. Everyone have a leadership quality, but we should recognize that quality and act develop it to transform the society. So many more things are related with social actions. Like social action is an organized effort directed at bringing about change in social, economic, and political structure and their style of functioning. In order to achieve social and economic well-being, especially of the underprivileged groups, and in bringing about a social justice, economic and political order. All these issues are very important. There is a question in uh, chat box. Someone is asking, I think, mm, strict rule and law governing these organizations and lately some NGOs, including one UN agency, has been stopped from operating. Yes, many strict rules and law are there, and rules and law are made by government also, because you know that if we left everything on NGOs or voluntary organizations, then there is a chance of uh, going something went wrong. So controlling and monitoring is very important. Even NGO on the some voluntary organizations also. So if any agency, although that is the
Hello.
UN agency, that is, please mute yourself. Someone is,
I want them on.
yeah, yeah. Please mute yourself. Yeah. So if any agency who is
Hey.
UN agency, uh,
Wait, can we go
Udah?
tonight? So I think I have to go like on my way down for it. It's
Oh
not nice.
iya, iya. Aku kan asli nih.
Right.
please mute yourself. Uh,
Karena dia mau jeneng ke kowe.
Ellen, please, can you mute yourself?
please mute yourself.
You eat it.
Yeah, yeah. Someone is asking about question, which is uh, yeah, yeah.
Ya, udah.
Someone is asking a question: how can we keep communities motivated and ensure they continue participating in program? Yeah, Bubu, uh, please mute.
Helen,
Some disturbance are there. Please mute yourself. So I will answer your question. Yeah. How can we
I don't know.
keep communities motivated and ensure they
Tunafanya zile kati no andisho akanapanga mix zika kuti mukati kuti uyu
for the motivating of the community, leadership is very important. We have already discussed that if good leadership is there, the motivation is possible. And if people involvement is there, if the people are actively participating in the planning process, then we can say that communities must be involved. So motivation comes from inner side. Leadership only help to motivate the people. So, Kebugo Faith, I think it's your question. Ojok Moses, what is the perception of government about the work of the BO in India? Basically, we have already discussed that voluntary organizations in more in numbers, but there should be the strict regulation on them, because generally some voluntary organization also misusing their rights. So government should be monitored and evaluated uh, voluntary organizations. In India also this type of cases happens. So government should be vigilant about the voluntary organizations. But some countries like Uganda, there are strict rules and laws governing these organizations, and lately some NGOs, including the UN agency, has been stopped from operating. Really, in most countries of the world, as you have mentioned, Ojo Moses, that in Uganda, uh, so it may be the strict rule, but I think monitoring is more important. That if you made rule very strict and to act for voluntary organizations, then they will not motivated for to work within social within rural area, because this have must be a some freedom to decision making in some aspect of planning. So strict regulation is not should be there, but monitoring and control must be there for regulation. uh, I think only two questions are there in chat box. So very good questions, and thank you Kabuko Faith and Ojo Moses for your questions. And different countries' government have different policy and programs regarding NGOs and voluntary organizations. So in India, there is a strict, not strict, but a monitoring and some you can say monitoring control of these type of organizations is there. So let us move forward. Um, yeah. So these are the fields of social action covers a very wide spectrum. We have already discussed like political reform, social and economic reform, removal of social injustice, and religious intolerance. These are the steps which are controlled by the social actions. Sharing of the power of the in decision making. It is very important in benefit protection of the environment, liberation from the stranglehold and current move. These are the important issue related to social action. The objective of the social action can be radical, questioning the very foundation of the current structure and the aiming to the overthrow the often proposing alternative, even if these are not precisely work out. At other ends, social action may work for change within the existing system. Regarding social action also, many countries has very strong, very strict rules, but some countries has very liberal about people's participation and social action. So I personally think that as we have discussed that monitoring is very important, and all type of monitoring should be there. Through that, the purpose of the plan, purpose of the program would be for the betterment of the community, betterment of the rural people. Social action and social reform. There are the two term which is which seems like same, but there is a difference between these two: social action and social reform. Gure 1986 defined as the deliberate efforts to bring about a change in social attitude, culturally defined role, expectations, and actual patterns of behavior of people in the desired direction through process of persuasion and public education. And he further observed that post-social reform movement emanates from the recognition of the dignity of the human individual and therefore of the responsibility of privilege to widen opportunity of life, social action for all segment of population. So much more differences are there, but we should focus some other differences briefly, like in social action and social reform. Both owe their beginning to dissatisfaction. Social action start with dissatisfaction, and social reform is also start with dissatisfaction with existing system. They are not satisfied that existing system is good. So we think for social action and social reform. Value and seeks changes in the direction of social justice. We have already said that social justice is a very important for the betterment of the society. Both appeal to the advantage to accept and change in order to provide a better deal to disadvantage. And social action and social reform both follow a variety of strategies and tactics to achieve their goal, several of which are common. Both follow the methods of mass mobilization. Both have normative ends. Normative means there are two concepts. One is positive and other is normative. Positive means what is when we analysis about what is, that is positive, and when we made a idealistic things what are to be, how the society will be better, then that is normative. So both the social action and social reform have a normative aim. It's a good. And strategies for social action, many strategies are there, but I think credibility building is more important strategies for social action, uh, because when anything uh, is good in public image of leadership, the sponsor and the participants based on the cherished social values. So credibility is very important in social action. Through the credibility, we can move forward and stigmatization, promoting the movement objective as being moral right, and therefore the action is legitimate and principled socially and morally. So we are talking about the restrictions and strong restriction, like someone is asking Uganda, there is strict control over voluntary organizations. So I think there should be a legal aspect, and controlling and monitoring may be there, but strict controlling is not required, only monitoring should be there. So the benefit of voluntary organization uh, will be more for the community. And dramatization is also very important. This implies the mobilizing the population into the action. If we are capable to mobilize people into action through the emotional appeal, soul inspiring speech, uh, management of media, novel procedures of drawing support, and catchy slogans, procession, protest, march, and such other techniques. Many more techniques are there, and it's important it's a strategy for social action to mobilize people for to take part in it. Multiple strategies also are there. Conducted a program of action involving advocacy, education, persuasion, facilitation action, and pressure taxes. And a dual approach which implies building a counter system as an alternative, or reviving a system which is declining or has declined, but which is perceived to be the beneficial. So multi-stage, multiple strategies may be there. Manifold programs are like developing social and economic and political programs which could facilitate mass mobilization for social and economic reconstruction and political leaders independence. So manifold programs, if we are able to coordinate all these things, then we can easily say that these are the strategies of social action. And formation and strengthening of the voluntary organization, how we can form and voluntary strength our voluntary organizations. Volunteerism and social services has a long history, especially in India, and I think across the globe in every country, it is not a new concept. It is a main source of welfare and development since Vedic times, especially in India. It was in history Maurya and Gupta's period. Maurya and Guptas are a emperor of the ancient India, which had a substantial public welfare system. The colonial period witnessed the large impact of Mahatma Gandhi and Gandhian method on the growth of volunteerism. So, like a scheme in India which is associated, I will already tell you NSS, National Service Scheme, that is also involve students in voluntary action. He was convinced that voluntary action was the most suitable instrument for development of country besides the political independence because everyone think that if we are the citizen of our nation, it's our responsibility to make better society, better country, better human beings. It's our moral duty, moral responsibility. So uh, uh, education not only provide professional skills, it not only provide job opportunity. Education is uh, the purpose of education is only to uh, bring a good human being. Without good human being, the purpose of education is not fulfilling. So we should learn that the purpose of education is to make a good human being, uh, and who think about welfare of the society, welfare of the nation, and welfare of the world. Because everything is uh, not divided. We are one environment, we are one earth, one family, and one future. And if globe is disturbed, everyone will be affected. So the key to social welfare emerge from the autonomous and flexible action and are necessary voluntary in nature. It commences with the focused action coupled with the determined intention of like-minded people to transform the socio-economic paradigm of society, particular for weaker section, based on social justice and not merely on the philanthropy and charity. So social justice is very important. Without social justice, we cannot imagine for a betterment of the society. So, friends, the distinction uh, are very important. Many more things are there, and organizational designing, voluntary organization structure. I once again request to all of you that you must go to study material. Everything is very broadly, very clearly mentioned in your study material, and many other things are also there, like work-oriented atmosphere and organizational structure. As you know that first stage of organizational development of a VO tends to informal, simply organized and strong bonded. As organization grow in scale, it often becomes difficult to maintain the desired characteristics mentioned above. So many more things are there. Atmosphere and organizational culture play a very important role. In many cases, uh, succeed and makes to capacity to leadership crucial to renew the motivation of the workers. It's important that the organizational at this stage introduce better form, structure, procedure, and system to facilitate the efficient working. And the leadership of the BO is very crucial. It's rest upon the leaders and managers to get the organization to realize objective. And one thing which is primary task of the leadership also vary according to the stage of organizational development, because without organizational development we cannot do anything, and it's vary from the early leadership in primary demonstration, the usefulness of the new organization to the skittle craft and donors and community. To the leaders in more maneuver organization which primary to involve the expanding the scale of operations, mobilization of funds, organizational procedures and networking. So through a good leadership we can easily manage things, and we can motivate people, we can involve people uh, in social action, and uh, uh, if people participation is there in any plan, in any social action, active participation, then I assure you that 100% that plan will be successful. So many more issues are also related with all these, but due to the time constraint, uh, I stop here. And thank you so much for your attention. And friends, this is my last lecture in rural development planning and management. And every ending is really just a new beginning with this concept. We will meet again. And uh, I will share uh, you a text. You must see that. Uh, 1 minute, please. Uh, my screen is visible. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
no.
you are audible, sir.
No, it's
No.
not.
No visible.
No, we
Screen
are not
visible.
able to see you.
Okay. Okay. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Uh, 1 minute, please. Uh, yes. Now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we can now see.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Civil society volunteers pattern in Africa. You go through Google and you search this. It's a very good study, and I think you must know about this. Um, you must read about World Alliance for Citizen Partnership, and very good article. Civil society volunteers pattern in Africa. So you defining volunteers, many more things which is related with African context. Very good study. So I request you all that please must go through this. If you Google this, everything is there, and very good studies how different countries in Africa are going uh, to voluntary action, voluntary. What are the challenges? As someone is asking about Uganda, a control and strict policy is there. So, what type of recommendation maybe for a betterment of the society and betterment of the people? So, it's a very good study. Please click this photo. Yeah, civil society volunteers volunteering pattern in Africa. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir, we
Hello.
have taken note of that.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Okay.
We can hear you, sir.
I request to all people that please read this article because it's very important and very information is regarding with Africa. So you go through this and friends, we have already discussed that it is the last lecture of this paper, rural development planning and management. So thank you once again for your patience listening. And the next class, your next class will be research method in rural development, and it will inform you shortly for your next class. Uh, Okay, thank you. Please on your camera for a photograph. Thank you so much. Kingston, how are
Okay.
you?
Before you go, sir, can
Okay,
I put a comment?
okay, okay.
Yes,
I
I just
think
wanted to put a comment before you go. I understand that today is our last
yeah,
opportunity or
yeah,
last
yeah, yeah,
chance to interact with you.
yeah,
We
yeah.
have also
Please.
seen the assign. Yes, yes. So we have also seen the assignment, and it's on this on on the program that we're just completing. Um, we have covered quite a lot of material in this program. I just wanted to know that when it comes to final assessment, do you have any hint of how far or how much we should prepare? Do you want us to read extensively outside the course material that you've given us, or we should just stick to certain chapters within your material? Again, do you think that the things that we are touching on assignment will be part of, and maybe will they also be part of the final exam come June? I just wanted to know, maybe if you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just give us something, Doctor, we need to study and prepare well so that we can show you how proud we are when it comes to final assessment.
Thank you, Juja, for your question. Actually, the course structure is based on IGNOU study material, but an assignment will be provided to you. You can also download the assignment from IGNOU website. And one thing which is very important, that if the paper is completing, you must go through your assignment, download the assignment, and it will also mail to you through the regional center. And please make your assignment. And study material of IGNOU, you must download the study material of IGNOU that is already available on the website. And you must look the questions of assignment. Simultaneously, you must solve the questions. And if you feel any problems, you call me. You can talk to concerned authority, and that must be solved. Because 31st March is the last, I think, is last date of the submission of the assignment. So assignment and lectures should be gone on, should be go simultaneously. So it's a very one question. Yeah. So because it's a part of your examination, because internal examination will be in June 2023. But before that, 31st March, I think, is the last date. So you should go through assignment. You must read a study material. But if you feel that you need more information about the course, then you can also read some other material which is related with your topic. Like we have shared, I have shared you about African studies, volunteer action in Africa. So this type of material will help you to make your assignment and preparation for the examination. So some other questions are here. I think. Uh, yes, yes. Continuous assessment means you must involve in the assignment making process, and after making assignment, it will be evaluated, and you will be given marks according to your performance. And after that, examination will be in June. So it's a continuous process because you learn, you make assignment, evaluated assignment, after that examination. So you must go through your assignment. I request you all that you must go through your assignment. Uh, our respective countries. Yes, exam will be, I think, the information about the some damage. Someone who is asking that where and how we are going to do exam in our respective country. Don't worry about the exam. Everything will be inform you with concerned authority. So don't worry about that. How will I be appear in the examination? Uh, Uh, yeah, Prince is asking about. My question is that how much percentage is the assignment and how much percentage is the examination? Actually, I think 70% is for examination and 30% is for assignment. So don't worry about all these. I suggest you all that please go through the study material of IGNOU, and if you feel that study material is something you need something new, then you can also search material from different sites and make assignment properly. So and ensure that assignment uh, must be written in your own words, not just copy and paste from the study material. You must be ensure. So, friend, these are the basic things, and in next coming classes, we also meet about your some other lectures. So, don't worry about anything, and you are almost always welcome. And if you feel any problems, you are free to write. If you are free to mail me, and I will respond. Thank you so much for your patience listening, and thank you so much. Please on your camera for a photographs. Yeah, thank you, friends. Thank you, friends. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.